So let's have a little chat real quick, y'all, about these damn masks. Mask. Yes, mask. For some reason, I feel like it's COVID all over again. Now, I know they've been saying that COVID didn't go away or anything like that, but, they've been telling us for probably the last like 5 years that there are new strains and all that kind of stuff, right? So even with the new strains, like, have I met anybody still getting COVID? No. Do I still hear people talking about getting vaccines? No. But what I have been seeing is an increasingly amount of people, still wearing masks, right? And the masks are the problem because I don't have a problem with you wearing a mask, but I think I have the same problem that I had before about not wearing the mask properly. And during COVID, there were a ton of people wearing baggy masks, saggy masks. The mask was not over their mouth, like entire mouth and nose. It was only over their mouth. I mean, yeah, just over their mouth. And in order to really fight the disease or, fight whatever, to fight whatever is going on, you need to have the mask over your mouth and your nose. Like literally like kind of like the N95 mask or whatever, right? That they fit for you and things like that. But I keep seeing people in stores. Now maybe they sick, I'm not sure, or people still paranoid, or there may be a number of things. But as I said, they're wearing the mask and it's like them cloth masks, which they've already proven didn't stop anything. Excuse me, but they're wearing the mask and it's like I said, just over their mouth. Stop wearing them little baggy masks. And then on top of that, you're not being sanitary with the mask. The mask be everywhere. I can say maybe a pouch that contains your germs, but you got the mask on the floor. You getting the mask out your purse, out your pocket. You're not washing your hands like that. And then, they people have literally done away with um like PPE or having multiple of them, like, you know, mask, gloves, hand sanitizer. All of the hand sanitizer stations are always empty. It's annoying. It's an annoyance. Like now, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I already was like a hand sanitizer freak anyway before COVID. Like I can't stand seeing empty hand sanitizer stations because to me, if they're going to be empty, take them down. Like many places, have got away from social distancing, so they're not doing that anymore. All those practices are gone because they are under the impression that COVID or the coronavirus is gone. As I stated, they have been telling us for the last 5 years that uh, there is always a new strain or something coming out, and you probably should get all the vaccines. And then there's always the long-standing battle of people who did not get the vaccine, right? And so, they may shame the people that got the vaccine because nothing happened. So, they're like, oh, I didn't get the vaccine and I didn't die and I'm still alive. And that's fine. That's cool. That's fine. But they're dying from other things. So were you really protected? Okay, you won the battle with COVID. I get it. I understand. They dying from gun violence and some natural death and uh, uh, domestic violence and other illnesses that they might have had and things like that. So I don't know if you really won the battle, but you won the COVID battle and you know stood your ground and not get the vaccine. That's wonderful. I love that for you. But what I'm saying is that, like I said, if you are wearing masks, make sure that you're wearing them correctly in order to not get sick. And then you had the people who know they sick and don't want to lose money, which was happening very frequently, is that they were coming to work sick, not telling people. And you knew like who was sick. The person said they were sick. Next thing you know, they weren't there, and then they was doing like the contact tracing where they was like, hey, was you around this person? And they were like, yeah, like, well, they got COVID now. So that happened to a lot of people. Like, I only think that happened to me. No, it actually happened twice, two times that somebody called me and was like, hey, this guy was sick. He probably wanted to go get tested and things like that. Um, and the only other time that I believe that this happened to me was it was people starting to get sick. This is when like COVID was first picking up and people were like getting ill and they were like, hey, you got COVID. And I remember that the person, they didn't say they had COVID. Not saying they did, they had to. I'm not saying they had to tell anybody, right? Because people wanted it to be private. I don't gotta tell nobody I got COVID, and I don't know if it was HIPAA, but ultimately, you probably didn't have to tell nobody you had it. They did ask people to quarantine, and people weren't doing that. They were all over the place. You had people traveling back and forth, getting COVID. Some people have had COVID 4 times, and they didn't care. They was like, if I'm going to die this year, I'm going to do it happy, right? A lot of people were congregating and going to parties and things like that and still getting it. Whole parties getting COVID. I personally only worked, didn't have COVID at all, never did. Um, I kind of monitored like who I was around, um, which is very minimal people, and definitely kept my distance. And I wasn't even into anybody because I definitely wasn't going to be DOD. If you're not sure with that, I wasn't about to be dead or addicted, none of that. So I was like, yeah, I'm good, right? But anyway, more or less, a lot of people didn't follow that philosophy, and that's why there are a lot of COVID children or coronavirus children because, the pandemic children, that's calling them that, where people was like, well, we ain't had nothing else to do, and this probably the most time we spent together. So, you know, it wasn't nothing else to do but probably eat and have sex, right? I know, why not? Now, that situation might not have been ideal for somebody who, is abused because now you home with your abuser. I believe that sometimes work or school or things like that are a safe haven for some people because you can go and, actually get away from your stresses of life, right? So you can actually go there, share a laugh sometime with people at work, and for others, work can be stressful, but you know, it depends on where you work. One thing I will say though, is if your job is stressful, please start looking for another job. Do not let a job kill you. Do not stay at a job that is not making you happy. Do not stay at a job that will literally have you in the hospital or is not allowing you to take care of your affairs when you are sick or you scared because you can't take care of your affairs. Do I believe that that is easier said than done? Yes. Where you're like, is nobody hiring? I understand that the pandemic also made a lot of people realize they worth, right? And what I mean by that is a lot of people figured out they really didn't like their job, right? Or how much their job cared about them. So do I believe that like, we are a number at a job? Absolutely. Um, but the job that I've been there 9 years, right? Do I believe that they not care about people? I wouldn't say that they don't care, but I believe that you take it with a grain of salt. Until you can take the job, till you can't take the job no more, don't stay there. Start looking for something else. Even if that means you need to start looking at different resources, there are plenty of other options to go to school for free. Um, Things like that. You might want to start looking into a different trade just to start getting into something else because I believe that those days of killing yourself for a job and not, taking care of yourself and all of that are over. In addition to that, the people who just neglect going to the doctor because they don't want to use their health insurance, you better use it because nobody want to hear how you used to have health insurance. I used to have health insurance when I was at that job and it was real good, but I ain't feel like I was sick. So even if you are well, you should be going to the doctor to get checked, checkup yearly, every 6 months. Also, I believe that if you are sexually active, go get checked. Because guess what? Just because you trust the person does not always mean that they trust you, and also that they have your that they have your safety. They have your safety in mind. So take care of yourself. One thing for sure, you ain't got to tell your partner that you getting tested. Go get tested. Figure out for yourself what's going on with your body so that you know you good if anything does transpire or change. So you could be like, oh, I know something is wrong because I know I take care of myself. Now, maybe in the beginning, you might exchange results and things like that. You know, people do. Hey, can I see in my chart? Or had a conversation, whatever. But what I'm saying is, ultimately, if you're not going to the dentist, if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not flossing and making sure that you are in, have a clean bill of health, you know, take care of yourself. Because even outside of COVID, that shouldn't have been the only wake up that you got when it came to taking care of yourself. Like, oh, I probably should start going to the doctor, or people started, feeling like they needed to see how they, were doing. Furthermore, even people like I've been seeing this whole battle now, or which is always a constant battle about people being overweight, right? And everybody like, why is there a constant battle about fat people? Nobody cares about us, and nobody, that thing, right? That there's like this constant attack on people that are plus size and fat, and everybody is fat phobic. Have you not realized that there is an attack on every group, whether you are a part of the LGBT community, whether you black, white, green, somebody's after you, right? Furthermore, um, what you don't understand is that even when it comes to like bullying, right? You could be too skinny and be bullied. There are stores where you can go in the store and the clothes still don't fit because you too skinny, too fat. Not even necessarily too fat, but you could be built, strangely, or you could be built in a certain way, but too big. Maybe was born naturally that way, or you went and bought a butt that was too big and no clothes fit you, right? And see, one of the things that I find quite interesting is that, and I'm bringing up like I'll even bring up like the Cardi B and Samira situation, right? Like Cardi B, made a joke about Cardi B made a joke about not necessarily a joke, but she said something about like, oh, all the fat fucks bought, you know, all the merchandise I had, all the three X's. Samira got an attitude. There were several people who who are plus size, and they are in a certain area of plus size. Let's be clear, because if you go in stores, right, they are talking about, oh, when I go in the store, they don't got nothing bigger than like XL or 2X or 3X. So if you are not like honestly, is there a large number of people that are 4 and 5X? Because you could order all those sizes, and then nobody buys it, or nobody even knew that you actually carry these sizes. So then are you wasting money getting these sizes? Like, if there is a demographic where people don't speak out enough to ask people, like, these companies, like how people have done with makeup, hey, you should get shades that cater to dark skinned people. I feel like, more brown shades. Say something. People could be vocal about everything else. Then I feel like you should, like Samara has done, going in different stores and actually saying, well, she does it in a different way. I don't know if she's like actually going in there and saying, hey, y'all should get these sizes. She go in and ask what's the biggest size they got and try to clothes on, and then expect them to say, oh yes, we'll do it. Oh, just because you asked. No. And outside of that, it's almost like all the advocates, you know, are in that size range. And again, like I said, one thing that I haven't seen any of them do, and I saw somebody mention this too, was the thing that they mentioned was somebody mentioned about why don't they start their own clothing line, and somebody said like something about like, well, how can we start our own clothing line if that takes money? You do what you can do. If you feel like there is a problem and there are not enough clothing lines or stores that have clothes that are actually nice looking, and you want to show some skin and you want to have it all hang out and you know all that kind of stuff, then go the route where you don't need any money and you want to do like drop shipping and things like that. Like start with your demographic to pre-order. Start with that. Then if you don't have no money to start with actual like capital to start these things. Like, okay, hypothetically, we'll even use Dank DeMoss, right? You know, with the Uber or the Lyft. And she got in and, she was like, oh, I could fit in that car. And you just discriminating because I'm 700 pounds. Like, or whatever, and I just lost weight, so now I'm a certain thing. Okay. Number one, it was her car. I mean, it was a man's car. Number two, is he a subcontractor for Lyft? Absolutely, he is. But the other side of that is he could decline the ride. Now, do I think it probably was in the way that he sat up there and said, you know, you can't fit in my car. It's probably not good for my shocks, but there is a where they do say that there's no about the weight part. It depends on the car. Like essentially, depending on where you live, cars are getting tore up anyway. If she really thought that she could fit in there and he had the time to figure it out and do so, cool. If it was a shared lift, that probably wouldn't have worked out because how we doing that? From my understanding, I think she lost the case anyway. And it's like, would it have been better for him to just smooth pull off on her? I think her intent was malicious anyway, because why are you filming me? Like this, she was like, I was just trying to just cover myself and all this kind of stuff. But why you got your camera out? Like, I think people just be pulling out cameras and don't think that that incites issues anyway. Like, what part of that is de-escalating? You call it insurance, I call it escalation. Because are you asking my permission to film me? No. How often do people start, well, I'm filming you. I'm going to film you and I'm going to put this online and I'm going to put this online and and I dare you to be upset. I dare you to have a reaction about being filmed and you not having permission to use my photo or my video. Why is that okay? And then furthermore, they dare you to go back and forth with them, right? You better not respond. Now I'm just being so bullied. I'm being bullied. Oh my God, I can't believe this. You shouldn't be doing this. Which goes back to what I was saying, a couple lives ago about people getting online and not expecting people to have opinions. If you are on social media and you have a comment section, those are opinions. Whether you're asking people what do they like, which is a call to action. Hey, drop your comment, drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. And y'all be sitting up here really battling with people about stuff that they don't like or something they said that y'all don't like that they said, and you arguing people on the internet. You clearly are not prepared or ready for social media if you arguing with people about their thoughts. It was this girl, like I said recently, that put, this video up there. She had an outfit on. She was like, oh, I'm celebrating my weight loss. And, the first look to me looked better. Was she celebrating her weight loss? Congratulations, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that ultimately, the end goal of it all is take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Like I said, as I talked about in the beginning about them damn masks, stop wearing the masks down here because it ain't doing nothing. You got the mask down here, still getting COVID, can't figure out why you sick or something like that. And Stop only using hand sanitizer because you only can use it 3 times. To them businesses, if you still got them hand sanitizer stations up there, you need to put some hand sanitizer in them stations because there's no point that when we go in the store and we squeeze the thing and ain't nothing, it's bone dry from when it was COVID, and you don't want to spend the money to, put the money, invest the money into um those practices. I mean, I don't know if we social distancing anymore because I done been in plenty stores where people be damn near, you be giving people a wally or a lap dance because they so close up on you. I was just in the grocery store and this man was doing that to me. I turned around, I'm like, damn, sir. I didn't know we came here together. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, man. Like, he was face to face. And I'm like, why you got to be so close to me in this line? Like, I don't understand it. I didn't say anything till we got, like, I was damn near out the line. But people don't be giving people their space. They don't give them their space. People know they don't give you their space. Or when people flock towards you when you are in a store and you reaching up and they be like, oh, these are so nice, aren't they? So nice. I know y'all probably think I'm crazy on here. Oh, my sister was on here. But yes, I know y'all probably think I'm crazy. All in all, if you're going to record people in public, make sure you ask them. I know you people trying to do it discreetly, but, last thing you want to see is people just like online. I try to, if I record, I try not to include other people in it. Or that's why I don't do that type of content. I don't want to put somebody in there that don't want to be in it. And oftentimes people shy and scared and don't put me in it. I don't want to be in it. I don't want that. Don't. I'm not ready. And we it took me a long time to even get comfortable in front of the camera, so I don't even put people in it no more. Or try to get people to join the movement at all. I don't even try to do that. But this live has been real. Make sure y'all stay safe. Take care of yourself. Make sure y'all start using your health benefits and don't let them go to waste.